Perfect day, man. Want to introduce my big homie, Chicken Man. Big Chicken, everybody know me by TJ, We're going to speak on who really getting chicken, how, the influence that he have the impact on my life, which is, me growing up, knowing him, watching him, being authentic is what I really look up to. He's not fake, he's authentic. An authentic brother that I learned a lot of things from, good and bad.
Exactly, man. It's just an honor, man. To see that I done been gone almost 25 years of getting back here, man, and to see where you done came from and what you done grow to become, with your brand, the trap fit, And I think Damon John said it best, for us, by us. He was the one that I seen a book said, we all are brands. And you taking that model and you running with it.
Right.
And you educating at the same time, whether you could see it or not, and whether those who don't have seeing eyes can see it or not, but you giving something back to a culture because you showing where we been ain't got nothing to do with where we got to stay at. You continue to elevate, man. I'm proud of you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Just me being able to grow up in Pompano and getting to know you, who you really is. A lot of people don't know who you are, but
exactly.
this Chicken Man, this
right.
the original. Everything I ever seen, heard from the dice games to the street game, you always was Chick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You always controlled your environment. You always was the one that lifted everybody, let them know, hey, you could be better than what you is. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be in poverty. You never teach to get on drugs. You never teach to be a drunk. You never teach down. You always teach up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I learned from even watching you. Like this dude right here, that's something I want to, learn how to get on that level. You know what I'm saying? Because the levels that you always spit. Like every time I've been around a dice game and I seen you shooting dice, you telling nigga, bet 50, bet 100. You go to talk too crazy, okay, bet 500. You talking crazy, a little bit more crazy, nigga, okay, bet 1,000, shoot 1,000. I'll call my sister right now and bring another 30,000 around here. You can't do them and win some money. I remember you always used to say that. You can't do them and win some money. You know what I'm saying? So just knowing like it was available, just hearing you talk, like money is out there, it's plentiful. Anybody could get it.
Exactly. Everything, because we gonna promote, we telling our story. Everything comes at a price, we paid, both of us and paid with our life. You been in, I've been in. The whole thing about it, man, is what you got in it for. I got in it to change my family dynamics. I didn't get in it because I thought I was gonna get a flashy car, some jewelry. I got in the game actually for the money.
Right.
Because the people that I was admiring, they was really legitimate people that owned probably all the property in Pompano, the black guys that I was dealing with. They were legit. They were school principals and stuff like the Blood Williams and stuff, the Grishams. These who I was chasing, but they was off in a legal field. I was trying to take that same money and do what they was doing and to become legal, but I stayed in the game too long. Right. See, that's the thing about the street life. You get caught up and you got to take these losses, you know what I'm saying? Losses come with the game. Everything that we be talking about, it come with a loss and it come with a win. But it's what your vision is in the end, you know what I'm saying? How far you want to go. You got to continue to be a dreamer. You going to forever be a dreamer because it's what you want to have in life.
Bro, I sit back and I would think about, the parties before we had, promotion, before the Instagram, when your name had to bring the people out. You know what I'm saying? You can promote on Ely Park on the weekend. When they said Chick was having a party on Ely Park, it was like Christmas, everybody outside. You know what I'm saying? It ain't some people outside. You got the kids, you got the adults. Everybody was outside. Grandmas, everybody outside that day. When they say Chick having a party, that's the biggest day of the year right there. Even from, I had the experience of seeing you, owning, the little area up there on 15th where the gas station at now. You know what I'm saying? Top dollar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember that as a little boy. I'm like, man, this man on this, he on that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to get my family out of poverty. You know what I'm saying? my mom died when I was young. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have the you know what I'm saying, the chance to have a mom figure, or I didn't have no big brother. So you know what I'm saying? I looked at it as like, dang, I wish that was my big brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he got everything. You was a person that I looked at who had everything. You know what I'm saying? The cars, the money, all the girls wanted Chicken Man. I don't
Right.
care who you were. You know what I'm saying? The high school girls wanted Chicken Man. You know what I'm saying? The aunties wanted Chicken Man. The grandmas wanted a Chicken Man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted a Chicken Man because you was Pompano. I remember, you know what I'm saying, a lot of them ain't respect Pompano dudes. But one thing you said Chicken Man, they had to respect that name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a lot that I could continue to go on the respect that you always had the impact for Pompano.
Right. Right. And like I say, man, I come back out, man. I still, I like to give my flowers to the continuation of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To those who out here doing what they doing, man. Like I say, it's just a different era, man, and everybody doing it in different ways. But as long as they doing it for Pompano, I feel like that's where the love at. But if you ain't doing it for Pompano, you doing it for something other than that, then it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Everything I ever did, man, it just was for the Pompano, man, to show us that we was getting money down here.
We getting money.
It wasn't nothing about nothing else but getting money.
Right.
It wasn't about no women. It wasn't nothing about we get money in Pompano. And see, the things I be wanting to educate the youngsters who coming up now, they so in the competition with each other and worry about who got the most. All I ever spoke on, we get money in Pompano. I ain't never tried to figure out who had the most in Pompano. Because I had old heads, I know I ain't had more money than them, but it was always everybody getting money in Pompano. So that's something that I think these youngsters need to, to change their way of thinking when it come down to putting themselves in competition with somebody that you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Then like my story, I be wanting to get out there because so many kids that heard about me through other people. They never got a chance to even know the man. They just know the myth of the man. You feel me?
Right.
And my whole thing is about that is like, if you got an uncle out here, you got your daddy, your mama, or whoever, man, I want y'all to know this because we not promoting dope. Hey, man, these people ain't never gave me nothing. So y'all think of the biggest names and find out did they give me anything if they tell y'all the truth. Okay, now you got one other guy that I'll never call his name. Hey, man, you bought work from me, I bought work from you, man. That's far as that go, man.
Right.
Wasn't nobody, because I'm not putting down nobody, nobody was thinking like me because you got to understand, I was late 20s. Some of these guys was 21. You not thinking about real estate at this time. All you thinking about is putting paint on a car. So it was a difference in the brain and how they was wired at that time. You know what I'm saying? But after I get taken out the equations, you'll have people that are gonna pit us against each other now. Even they'll try to maybe step up now because it's their turn. Which it's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not gonna tell the real stories on how this thing really went, because you'll have a guy saying that you bigger than me, which I don't care nothing about that. No, I let you think you was bigger than me because I know y'all do a lot of talking in my era.
Right.
In my era, because I never exposed nobody about what somebody was buying, because all that could lead to other things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just as well as this generation. So to try to take them off that mindset. If you in the streets, we giving this to people that's in the streets.
Right.
I don't want this to be for nobody to want to go in the streets. If you already in the streets, these are the mistakes that they make. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got guys that to make themselves seem big, you just be to pull up and bought some. They talking about the guy who just left before you got there. They telling you to make themselves even look bigger. So all that is a way of putting you in harm's way because now you don't know who this guy know. Oh, damn, I came to cop a quarter. He just say such and such came and bought 2 keys. But he only thinking about making himself seem like he got all the dope and he's supplying everybody. That's his vision. He not looking at, now I can get this man home invaded. I can get him, all these things come with it. Either set up with the police.
Or killed.
But these are the mistakes that people made in my era that I know they continue to make to this day because I'm out here, I got ears.
Right.
I can see the characters. It's a whole different movement out here now, you know what I'm saying? And it's really just all about likes and followers, for real, you feel me? When, a man was on some, we trying to lead the right way, you know what I'm saying? Even though we played the game that we played the wrong way by selling the dope. But that's the hearsay there, man. We
Right.
trying to continue to educate, man. Get out these streets, man.
From the mistakes that you did make in life, it actually helped me. I learned from them, so, mistakes are bad, but people learn. I always was a learner, a thinker. I'm never too old to learn. I don't care. I could be 100 years old. I still want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because they say you a fool when you stop learning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get lost. I don't want to be lost. I want to be up to par of what's going on every day, all day. So, the mistakes that you made, I learned from them by just paying attention and being nosy. That's what the grandma say.
Mm-hmm.
I was real nosy. I want to know what the grown people were doing. I never played with the kids. I ain't play with toys. I ain't care about no Nintendo, no PlayStation, none of that. Still to this day, I don't even know how to play a game.
For real.
I don't play games. You know what I'm saying? It's my job to get this whole lifestyle of generational wealth running. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said again, chick, I'm just grateful that I got a chance to know who you is. The stories, there's a million stories, you know what I'm saying? But I know who this guy is, you know what I'm saying? Chicken Man, like the one of the greatest, you know what I'm saying? And, just giving you your flowers right now while you alive. It ain't I ain't finna get in front of the church and talk once you gone, because all us gotta leave here one day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm giving them to you now and to let the youth know, like, everything that was good you heard about them, that's what it was. Everything you heard bad was a lie. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the biggest that come out of Pompano. You helped pave the way of Pompano. You know what I'm saying? Now I look at myself as, after you left, I took over, because wasn't nobody doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? It's levels in this. And, I ain't spending my money on cars and, you know what I'm saying, gambling, because I don't know how to gamble. I don't gamble, so you do the math. You know what I'm saying? If a person ain't gambling and ain't blowing no money, what you think it's doing? Piling up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I learned from watching older guys, which is you one of them. You know what I'm saying? You my big homie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna be that till the day you leave here. You still gonna be my big homie when you gone. You know what I'm saying? So, just I want to be a big homie one day. So we pushing positivity. We're not pushing drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how Trap Fit was born. You know what I'm saying? Because I love trapping so much to now I'm putting it on clothes.
Right.
It's Trap Fit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we get it from.
Right. And my whole thing about just the respect level that I got for you too, because it go both ways. That's what make me so great to me when I pat myself on the back, because I always looked at the next man and I could see myself. Just like the old heads would say, hey boy, I see a lot of me in you. You know what I'm saying? So this generation out here, they don't know how to compliment each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, if you're doing something positive, you get into your bag, man. I'm able to tell you get into your bag. I ain't finna see your car, your chain, and say, well, why you got a chain look like that? Why you ain't buy that type of car? I ain't never was that type of guy, you feel me? All I ever was to see a guy get some money. Hey man, get you some money and keep getting you some money, because the more money you get, the more things you gonna learn, you feel me? So like, the things I was doing was so different because, people started trying to compare the money. People weren't spending $7,000, $8,000 or $6,000 to go to a show. That's what I spent every show. And I went to them year round. Okay, I went from buying 1 or 2 seats to buying whole rows. So when dudes be having these conversations about me, you had to be around me to even know that. Yeah, cause what I'm doing right now, like I'm just touching on a few things that I know out here in the streets. Like when people be comparing about who made the money, who all this, cause that's the past. But I'm giving you authenticity so you can understand that I was different. You feel me? Cause who does that? I got these scenes off of Miami Vice, where I ride around in a limo from sun up to sundown, go to the club, make them take us out to dinner. So all this was a way of spending money. I ain't talking about the money I spent on clothes. You got to add up my lifestyle to even try to get my figures. That's just like when Forbes say people are billionaires. They don't just add up the cash they got. They add up the overall lifestyle to get to these numbers. You know what I'm talking about? You talking about in the early 90s, You talking about a man spending $10,000, $12,000 on bills, 8,000 some months because they vary. You know, that you got to have. That you got to keep these people, these families that you taking care of. Oh, listen, you done heard these stories. These are real stories. So when you comparing my lifestyle to somebody else's lifestyle, who they took care of besides themselves? You know, did they do this for their mamas? You feel me? Would they do all the stuff? Did they go to these prize fights? So I was going to prize fight. Did they invite their old heads, spend 25 just to get to the fight? But they'll say I was worth 30,000. I just spent 25 to get to a fight. And just to get there and be mad, because he didn't have me sitting ringside. You see? So these are authentic stories that nobody would know other than the people that are around me.
Right.
So when these guys sitting up talking, hey man, come talk to the source, man. If you want to know about something about my past, talk to the source. But I'm never into the competition about the money, and that's what I want these youngsters to get off. Get off that and just be big in your city.
Right.
And if everybody big, how can we be small? So I love what Kodak just did with Coley and all of them. Hey man, put all that stuff to rest and let's unite, man. And everybody get money, man.
Right.
Because one day, you might be down, he gonna be up. See, this how I always thought. So I never was into that mentality of keeping somebody small. Because everything around me about the game, I created these traps. Because we in here talking about trap fit. I created traps in order to get rid of keys.
Right.
These boys were satisfied with just selling parlays for me. But I ain't want to keep them small. So I said, okay, at that spot doing 2 or 3 keys. Okay, now I know that's a show 3 keys you're going to be able to buy for me. I'm going to teach you this game. This your trap now. This is what this really was.
Right.
Ain't nobody go down there and tell the feds the real Chicken Man story. Because I ain't never told my own story to them.
Right.
Who did I bring to jail with me? Who came to jail besides the people inside my conspiracy? And I sold drugs to everybody. You see what I'm saying? And then talked about nobody. But when you big, accusations, everything gonna come with being big.
Right.
And that's just something that these kids got to understand to be able to humble themselves about the accusation, because don't take it to the next level, because you only gonna lose in the end.
When we talk about keys, you know, my thing was this. I remember like when you left, things got more expensive. It was hard. I can remember when it was hard. Wasn't no dope. Chick gone ain't nothing. I watched Pompano. I watched dudes got to go to Miami to buy jugglers. They had nickel jugglers down there. It wasn't no work. So when the Fed did grab Chick, it affected Pompano. So I knew right then Chick ran Pompano. Nobody ain't have to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? I understood as a kid, because I was a kid when you left, that Chick ran Pompano. Ain't no dope. Because I remember I used to have to go see Chick. You know what I'm saying? Chick had this if you need that. You understand what I'm saying? But now, once Chick left, I saw the gap open. Oh, ain't no more Chicken Mans. Now I'm finna become the chicken handler. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna become Chicken Man. I'm finna become the chicken handler. What I mean by that, I'm finna start buying the keys now. You know what I'm saying? Because the people around this area who know how to make money, but they don't know how to invest money. So now if I could spend $22,000 and make me $72,000, we talking about almost a $50,000 profit. I fell in love with that. So now, falling in love with being able to make me almost a $50,000 profit, now what I'm finna do is go to the next level with it. Not only buy 1 key, I'm finna buy me 2 keys. Because everything is levels. I'm never staying on a level. I'm going up a level. So my thing was this. Now I got to cut the middleman out. How I'm gonna cut the middleman out is this. Okay, y'all want 22 a key? I'm gonna give you 20, I want 5. I know when I spend $100,000, it's gonna make the big man come out, because he gonna wanna know who have $100,000 out of Pompano. All them niggas down there broke. That's how they felt about Pompano dudes. You know what I'm saying? These niggas ain't got that type of money. But I was a compulsive saver. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna figure out a way to beat the game. Once I learned about, you know what I'm saying, the value of dope and how to cut the middleman out, my how I came up with the terminology of beating the middleman. Okay, I'm gonna spend 100 grand now. Instead of spending 44,000, I got 100,000, and I'm gonna give you 20 a piece. I need 5 of them. I know if a middleman call his plug and say, "Hey, I got somebody that want to spend 100,000," he gonna have to bring his ass out now, cause he gonna want to know who have $100,000 in Pompano. Them niggas ain't got that type of money. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got the market to where I wanted. I wouldn't have buying it in bulk now. You see what I'm saying? So now I got 100 grand. Now I need 5 of them. Your plug don't want to miss no $100,000. He got these keys sitting in the warehouse, in his garage, wherever he got them sitting at. They're not there not to be sold. And 9 times out of 10, the extra 2,000 is the middleman money anyway. Exactly. So guess what? I ain't got to pay you. Your plug gonna pay you. I need 5 of them. I got 100 grand. So that's the game I learned from listening to shit. Pop his game around the dice game, nigga. Bet 1,000. I'm gonna circle it with 2,000. I'm gonna put up 2,000 to your 1,000. So you made them put $1,000 down. That's the same thing I did. I made them put it at the level, the number that I want because of the money that I possess. I have 100 grand. You gonna sell it to me, or guess what? Somebody else will make this 100,000. And it ain't every day that a black man got $100,000.
Exactly. That's definitely it. That's definitely the move. That was brilliant. All part of being a good businessman,
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be able to think, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like in 2000, you know what I'm saying, showing these youngsters that I ain't never selfish, and and I was always here for my community. In 2000, I came back to take care of my situation in Broward County. I had been hearing your name ringing, because from 98 to 2000, ain't but a 2-year window.
Right.
And that's how the Fed play this game. They play the game every 2 years. Either sometime they get on you for 4 years. They got on me from 94, but they didn't get me till 98. They spent off on me, they got back on me. So once I went to hearing about, TJ, so now TJ done took off like that. So now when I get back in Broward County, I had my lawyer pull you out.
Right.
Because I want to give you this game.
I was doing the 6 months. I remember I was doing the little 6 months for I think for driving, for my license or something. I hadn't got pulled and got and caught some type of like driving case, no driver license or something. Caught a little 6 month county for 6 months, and I remember you say you heard I was in the county. So definitely you did that. You had your lawyer call me out.
Yeah. And see, I pull you out because that's just like, these games don't never go away. These games and plays still being ran to this day, because you got new players in the game. And if you ain't been taught the game or gonna listen to the game from a player that already played the game, then you gonna get caught in the same trap.
Right.
Why they gonna switch up a trap that's working?
Right.
It been catching. They ain't gonna never stop the fake dope, robbery and all that. When they want to get a man about the robbery, it's 100 keys over there. It's gonna continue to happen because you got guys out here that's not gonna think and not being taught well. So when I got down there and told you that, hey man, once Nate Osgood get on your trail, it's bigger than Pompano now.
Right.
You really is in the big leagues. So right then let me know that you were handling real money, and I let you know that this how they coming. So shake him, because what they gonna do is they gonna try to see who all you deal with to try to build this conspiracy case. They not gonna come at you trying to buy no key or none of that. They just gonna try to go to everybody in your case or whoever you deal with and just get a little bit of dope and keep stacking it up based on your criminal background, and that'll get you in a category 6. But I told you that, gave you that game, because I'm one that I don't want to see nobody go to prison, especially the homies. I don't want to see my homies go to jail, and this ain't nothing but a game. This really a game that come with the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How many people you think would have wanted to come back and try to save TJ?
I don't know now. Now I would have did it because of simple fact. TJ was a big impact on the street.
Right.
All you nigga hoes wanted TJ now.
Right.
So they hoping something happened to you.
Right.
You start getting money, you start getting girls.
Right.
You start getting that name,
Right.
Everybody, what I'm saying, they might not say it, but I was the next chicken man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm glad you said that too about the women, man, for these young generation and these young era that's after us, or whoever in the street. Like I say, this game for people that's still trying to play these streets. I could never figure out the disdain another man will have cause these girls want to be with you or want to be with me. I just could never figure that out. Cause my thing is, all the guys that had women, I ain't had no disdain for them. That's your woman, that's your women, however many you got. And I could never figure that out. And then I can't figure out like how they been raised out here if they ain't heard these stories, because they had 20 some years, almost a quarter, to see that whoever they people was, whether they mama, your sister, or whoever I was dating, how many dudes they had after Chicken Man? How did their life change, or did they change their own life after I left? Because these were little girls anyway. It wasn't like we were grown for real. You know what I'm saying? So that be my thing to my haters. Because I be wanting to address them and just give them a look. The ones that hate and talk behind your back, because I don't care nothing about it, because I don't care about man, I care about one man when it comes to who like me.
Right.
I just be trying to figure out, man, where y'all adapted and picked up that hating bone about these women. That's everybody women when you out in the streets. See, cause what I learned about the streets, and it, you know, and I don't like to give it. See, pussy in the streets, everybody get a chance to meet. Pussy at home is where a nigga supposed to leave alone. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So they got the game twisted. So all you youngsters, when y'all out here running around, think you meeting this girl in the street, that pussy for the streets, man. So don't get caught up trying to kill another man about the pussy or pillow talk with the girl about another man, because that getting the game a black eye. Now the pussy that be home, put up, out the way, that's a pussy you leave alone, because that means you going out your way to mess with that man woman. Unless she done came off the porch to mess with you.
Right.
Now that's just a little game I want to give the youngsters who in the streets about the game.
Right. But I always saw, if you in the streets, if you in the game, you got to respect everything that come with the game. Meaning, once you leave the streets, you got to get all that shit back to the streets.
Exactly.
You leave your girl.
Right.
You leave that money.
Right.
If it ain't put up properly, you leaving it. It's gonna be gone when you get out.
Exactly.
You leave them cars. You can't take none of that shit with you to the jailhouse.
Right.
You can't take none of that. So I always saw when the big man leave, the next big man is in line to accept everything that the first big man left.
Exactly.
So when I did time, I always respected the game and knew that when I leave, that shit going to the next nigga who name ringing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna go in there and make no make-believe story like I'm the first one that ain't gonna happen to. This shit been going on before my time. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that can't be changed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just like you say, you know what you was meeting when you met it. You met it in the streets. That's where it's supposed to be at, in the streets. So, you know, me, I never had no beef or animosity for a man who got a piece of pussy because he ain't take it, she gave it to him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And guess what? I done turned down a lot of niggas' pussy, girls. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because, first of all, and I don't mean nothing by this, I ain't even date girls from Pompano because I felt like I wanted something nobody ain't have. Now, a nigga from another county or city, I don't know him, so what I don't know can't hurt me. I don't know if he done dealt with her or not. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to go out of the county to deal with my girls because the simple fact, or the ones that's coming off the porch, the younger ones, that my age group never had a chance with. Mm-hmm. So I don't cause no friction or hate or this nigga don't like me because I'm messing with a girl he used to date. Right. Now you mad at me because your bitch like me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. It ain't me liking her because, like you say, I'm not going out my way to try to get in no man's house and deal with this woman. I respected the nigga woman like I respect the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The game will kill you just like a nigga will kill you by this woman. Same thing. Right.
Exactly. That's it, man. Couldn't have said it no better.
So, you know, I just, you know, the day, you know what I'm saying, like I say, I really respect what you did by coming in, giving me more time to deal with you, to have a talk with you, you know, to get more game. Right. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just thank God for, you know, the brand, you know, Trap Fit, everybody see like it's about chickens now. Right. You know what I'm saying? But we talking about chickens on the clothes. Right. Not the chickens that they flying over here on the airplanes or on the boats. You know what I'm saying? We the chickens on the clothes now.
Right.
You know, and I sat back, I came up with this idea when I was in prison doing time. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I love trapping so much till I sat back and I'm like, wow, how can I deal with these same people but on a different level? And I thought about it. Trappers love to dress. Trappers got to be fly. You get money, you a trapper, you can buy you something to wear every day.
Exactly.
I can't make the clothing that a working man got to buy when he get paid on Friday. I need to make the clothes that a trapper could buy every day because I need money every day. You know, once you get addicted to that money, you're addicted.
Right.
We need money every day, chick, not some days.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I came up with Trap Fit. You know, Trap Fit came to my, you know what I'm saying, came to my brain. I brought it to life.
Right.
Just like when we saw a trap, we saw an area that a nigga can't handle it. He ain't buying number 1 or 2 ounces, and you went on in there and put them parlays in there and brought him up. You know what I'm saying? Here go 2 keys. Now I done brought you to a level that you could buy more in quantity from me now, and you ain't on this little boy level no more.
Right.
You know, and it's the same thing. You know, it's just a different product we selling now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing clothes now, not drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people thinking I'm promoting drugs because you got a trap on it.
Right.
You know, trapping is a million things.
Right.
Your trap is what you love doing, what's your occupation. Because drugs was our occupation once upon a time. We ain't work.
Right.
So a trap is your occupation. You know what I'm saying? For the record, your trap, if you a pastor, the trap is your church. You know what I'm saying? If you are an exercise coach or you know what I'm saying, the gym is your trap. That's where you at most of the day. You know what I'm saying? Just like the streets was our trap. That's where we was at most of the day. You know what I'm saying? So trapping ain't selling drugs. Trapping is your everyday responsibility that you use to create funds to take care of your family.
Exactly.
That's trapping to me right now. You know what I'm saying? Back then, your trapping meant something else. But right now, trapping is how I create an income to take care of my family and trying to leave generational wealth on top of that. So that's trapping to me.
One of theirs look like spaceships. Niggas playing rich and broke, niggas gotta face it. I came for nothing, now I'm starting at my motivation.